Hello and welcome. This is I Am with Eric Faria. I am your host, and today I have a very special guest with me who lives in California and she's visiting the East Coast. So her name is Roberta Tachihara, and she is a holistic therapist and also a meditation teacher. So it is my pleasure to have her here today. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and I was talking to you before. I'm very excited about this episode. So I'm going to begin by asking you, I know that you do something called realization process, correct?
Yes.
And I would like for you to explain to our audience, what is realization process?
Okay, the realization process is a system of a series of exercises, mental exercises of focus, like meditation. Also, we have movements that are very simple but profound, and they have a body approach to the meditation and also a modern psychological approach as well. So it's a very unique process because it has a lot of meditation in it, but it's not like, and I want to demystify meditation already.
Please do, please do.
A lot of people talk about mindful meditation also all over the country and abroad. But when you say meditation, the first thing people think is the Zen meditation. And the Zen meditation, which of course is really good, I also practice that in California. But the Zen meditation is to completely stop thinking. And people think, oh, meditation, I got to stop thinking. What am I going to do with my mind now? Oh my gosh, I can't do that. I cannot do meditation. I have tried, and they tried 1 minute. It didn't work.
Right.
It's like a, So first of all, in the realization process, thoughts are welcome. You're not supposed to stop thinking. Thoughts can pass through you. And as you progress with the system, you learn also how to quiet the mind. It is a natural process, so you don't have to stop thinking, otherwise this is not correct. Also, emotions pass through, physical sensations pass through. So we end up connecting with the deepest part of ourselves. This is our the deepest dimension of ourselves. And that's what the realization process goal is to get into the depths of your being. And we call that the consciousness. So it has a body approach, so normally we go through the body, but we are not intending to stop in the body itself. It is not in the tissues, but the space inside the body.
Right.
So people tend to be pretty much forward in the body. They forget they have a skin, they come out, or they are too much in their head and the body is not connected. So this helps to connect everything. And it's important. And some people are going, why this is important to connect the body? Well, if you don't connect the body, you keep your awareness here. A lot of teachers, non-dual teachers also, this is also a non-dual system, and non-dual teachers or teachers of meditation or spiritual teachers, they keep talking a lot about awareness. And awareness, normally people are going to think or feel here.
Okay.
So this part opens up, but the body is still like that.
Right.
So, and if the body is like that, it means you cannot open to your own consciousness. You cannot open in the depths of your being because there is tightness, there is tissues that are holding there, so you cannot penetrate the space. Then you cannot penetrate the consciousness.
Right.
So that's in a nutshell what the realization process is. It's more difficult to explain than to experience.
So why don't we experience it now?
Yes,
So I actually want you, if you could, look into the camera and actually do an exercise with our audience to explain to them how they can start to feel the connection.
Yes, yes. So I'm going to explain that. But before that, I want to talk about the very important aspect of this process, which is the difference between being aware of the body and being present in the body.
Okay.
Conscious but present. So Just now, leaving your hands resting in your lap.
Okay.
Just now, and I'm going to talk to you also who are watching us, just let your hands rest on your lap and just become aware of your hands. Take a moment to become aware of your hands. And probably you can feel if your hands are tensed or relaxed. Mm-hmm. Also if they are warm or cold. You can also become aware of the surface that they are touching. So this is becoming aware of the body. So now we're going to push. So push the center of the palm of your hand. And now the palm of the other hand. And this is just to bring a reference point for you. Rest again your hands here. And you can close your eyes now. And close your eyes and breathing through your nose, from the center of your nostrils, send your breath straight back. As if you're going to touch the backbone of your cranium. The back of your head. Calm, very calm breath, thin breath, just passing until the back of your head. So you're having a deeper connection with yourself in this moment. And now bring your attention down to your hands and feel the center of your palms, this very center that you just pushed a minute ago. Allow yourself to feel the center of the right palm, not thinking about, but feeling it from inside. And now feel the center of the left palm. Again, not thinking about, but feeling it. And now feel both hands at the same time. And open your eyes. Yeah. It's a completely different experience to think about. The body becomes, when you think about or you become aware, the body is an object of your observation. But when you are present, there is no subject and object. The hands become aware of themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's different. It's very, very subtle, very different. And that connects with the depths of your being. Anywhere you connect deeply in your body, you will connect with your consciousness. Yeah.
That was fantastic.
So I want to know your experience. Yeah. How was, today's the second time you practiced.
The second time, yes.
So why don't you share how was for you your experience about being present in your own hands?
Yeah, so this time it was a little different than the first time, and I will talk about the first time after we come back from the break. But just now I felt like I was really here and present. Like in this moment, right? Yeah. We are talking to each other in this studio. So I really felt like I was, okay, I have support. I felt my legs and my feet and everything that was underneath me.
Wonderful, so, yeah. And you see, it's such a simple practice, but this simple practice can bring you to the depths of yourself. And I really ask everyone to really practice this daily because it makes a difference. As you practice more and more, you will see that it builds up the connection with yourself. Of course, there's many other exercises and techniques in this process, but this is a simple one. And being deep in the palms of your hand, you felt your legs, you felt your feet, you connect with yourself, the whole body can become really present. So you're not in the past and you're not in the future, you're right here, right now.
Perfect.
And that's very important.
Yeah. So this is the perfect point to actually stop the segment And we will be back, and then we will talk more about the experience, and I will talk about my own personal experience.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
So stick with us. We will be right back after this. Welcome back. This is I Am with Eric Faria. Today I have Roberta Tachihara, and we are going to talk about some more of the realization process. And as I was talking, the first time that I did this with you during the pre-interview last week, I had a very profound experience. I remember you doing this with me on the internet, so that's how powerful it is. We weren't even in the same physical space. And I went back to when I was 5 years old. I really felt the palms of my hands. I felt like a bee was stinging me in the middle of my palms. And I remember an experience when I was 5 with my grandmother. And I felt a lot of sadness. It really felt like there was a lot of emotions that were repressed from that time. And I remember like this wanting to cry and to just let it all out, and to also at the same time hold on to that pain, to that suffering, to those emotions. But it gave me a huge insight, and we even talked after about the whole situation.
The whole situation.
And how I perceived it as a 5-year-old, and how I can perceive it now and
as an adult.
As an adult, and just let it, you know, go through my body and through the emotions. So that's something that was really profound to me.
Yeah, I want to comment. There are two aspects, very important aspects of this realization process, and I called my class the Self Awakens. And the reason, the self is in fact always here and it's pretty awakened, but we are not. We are holding to a lot of stuff, and most of the time we are not even conscious of what we are holding. But the body has somehow memorized something. And the two aspects I'm just going to mention them first, is the childhood and the organizations of the body. And the second part of it, it's now who is holding, who is saying no that still wants to hold something there. That's a very important aspect to understand, because it affects us now in the present moment in adult life, and people need to have a little bit more understanding of that, so they can also understand when they have such a strong will, or they make visualization boards, or they make all kinds of things to say affirmations every day, and still there is what they call self-sabotage. So people think that it's just if you repeat things are going to change, and I will say no. Fortunately, I have to say that it's deeper than that. So let's go first to talk about childhood issues. In the realization process, we also work with modern psychology, and that part is where we're going to work with wounds that we had when we were little. And when I say wounds, I'm not talking about just like something, and you have something really dramatic, but sometimes can be very subtle, even can be something small. But for the child, that was not small.
Yeah, it was huge.
For the child, they don't have the cognitive capacity. They don't have the mental understanding as an adult. So even if you take a scissor from a child, because it's dangerous, you're protecting them, they can take that on as I cannot have what I want. And they can constrict tissues in the body for that. So normally, what I call organization of the body is we have conditioned ourselves to survive. It's wonderful. It worked because we are here. You are here, I'm here.
Yeah. No, as you were saying that, I took a deep breath, but yes, I felt it in my body.
So we really survived. We are here. So it was good. We found a way to survive everything that happened in our life that was overwhelming when we were little. But now, those things are not happening anymore, and we are still using the same protective system, the same defenses. And the way we do that is because it got memorized in the body, so the way we do is using again and again the same system, the same defense. And we are not aware of that because most of that in the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
So in the realization process, going through the body, like you, just by being the center of your hands more deeply, it brought you to a memory and emotions that were trapped in the body, and you're holding there for
I felt them
decades.
In my chest.
Even you're so young.
In my stomach.
Yeah, in your chest, in your stomach. So we don't want to hold those emotions anymore. It's time to get lighter, to get softened, to soften up, you know, softer also. So to really release them. And that's why this process is very gentle, but very effective. And I say gentle because, that comes the second part, the mind of the child, that consciousness of the child is still there in the tissues of the body. So we have to go little by little, but with precision. It's very precise, this, the way we use the techniques to also open up space that are being closed. So very gentle, but efficient to go there, precise, to just little by little release. And sometimes when it's ready, it can release even a lot. And emotions can be released. And thought systems also, because beliefs are also trapped there. There's thoughts, there's a part of awareness that is also not the consciousness of your divine consciousness or fundamental consciousness, not permeating that. So there is still the consciousness of the child. And that's why I'm saying what I said before. You can do sometimes visualization, or you can do affirmations, and it doesn't work.
Right.
Where is the part that doesn't allow that to work? That's what I'm talking about. The subconscious mind still have that idea that I cannot have what I want, or this person is rejecting me, I'm not good enough. Or we have, you know, we have a list of those.
Yeah.
But then it's not just the idea of it, you feel in the body. So there are tissues in the body that we also open up. So we open tissues in the body, so physical sensation is present. And that also gives us a capacity to increase our capacity to feel pleasure also, and which is also beautiful. Emotions that we haven't been able to feel. And sometimes people, if they found a way to protect themselves against, you know, hurtful emotions, negative emotions, fear, sadness, shame, then they close. And when they close their heart, they cannot access love. They cannot access joy. They cannot access compassion, tolerance, respect. So there are a lot of other feelings and emotions that they miss, and then life becomes very dull, you know, very flat. We lose our humanness, I say. This process brings us to be a real human being with feelings, with emotions in the present moment. Also, when you release that from the past, so if something happened to your life now, you will feel from what is happening, not bringing the reaction of the conditioned self that is operating most of the time. That sometimes we behave like a children, like a child. I'm like, how come? But that's because that consciousness is still there, but doesn't need to be anymore. So this system really works with that so that you can open. So it opens in the space of the body and opens the emotions. And not only here, it opens emotions. You can have emotions everywhere in the body. And we can have constrictions all over also. And beliefs, you know, awareness, thoughts that also are old-fashioned. It doesn't match with your way
who
of...
we are now.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah, it's very interesting because I remembered as we were doing the exercise, and I just really felt like I was there. I was back to being 5 years old. I saw the whole situation. I heard her voice. It just, I felt it all over my body. It was so interesting, to
almost
say the
bizarre.
least. Almost bizarre. I was going to say that. It was bizarre. But yeah.
Yeah, but because that consciousness is really alive still, and that's what we call the agent. The agent that is still operating in the subconscious mind, but it's bringing things to your life.
Right.
And but this, it can be released, and that's a very important step. The desire to clear, the desire to be who you really are, not the conditioned self.
Perfect. So this is a perfect stopping point. We will continue this conversation. So for everyone watching, stick with us. We will be back right after this. Hello and welcome back to I Am with Eric Faria. Today I have my special guest, Roberta Tachihara, and I want to ask you, I know that we were talking about the emotions and how we repress them, and why does it usually happen? Because, like I said, during my experience, I felt something from 5 years old. I'm 29 now, so this is 24 years later. Why? And where are they located? Where is that?
Okay, let me explain
Yes,
a little
please.
bit more about these organizations of the body and these conditionings that we have. So the first thing is we have this is not only emotions but also thoughts that are there to gather physical sensations that we didn't want to feel. The reason why is because we didn't have the capacity to feel when it happened. Confusion, shame, lack of understanding, all of this in a child's mind. And also you will see as you work that you will have a certain emotion of a 1-year-old. And it's going to be very different of the sadness, let's say, of a 5 years old or 10 years old. So most of the time we are working around until 10 years old. Of course, it can be something traumatic in adult life or later. If it was a trauma that was big enough, it will be there. Otherwise, most of it is from this time, and then it goes to the unconscious mind. And then later on, we have a trauma, but it's already the effect. It looks like the cause, but it's in fact the effect of something that happened earlier.
Earlier, yeah.
So normally, all of these are stored in the fascia. A lot of people do not know
what is the fascia, please?
So fascia, I always going to bring the example of the chicken.
Okay.
If you have cooked, that very thin skin that the chicken has, like a
that thin layer, yes.
Layer, yes. So that's what fascia is.
Oh, okay.
So it's a tissue in our body that covers all our organs, all our muscles, and it's everywhere.
Right.
So when you have a constriction, for example, when you were a baby, it can start here and it can be all over the body.
Wow, even as a baby.
Even as a baby. So you can have constrictions already from the womb time. It can be from there, from the birth, and from 6 months, 3, 6, 1-year-old. So we do not have memory, but it's stored in the body because we did something to defend against something that we didn't like. So, and if it's as a child, a baby, it will recruit everything in the body to protect, himself, herself.
Right.
This is a great, it's very powerful way of doing. That's how we survived.
It's a survival mechanism.
So, and that's why I always say, don't judge. Don't judge yourself when you feel that you have some certain type of defense, because it helped you in a particular moment of your life. It's important to have this also soften the feelings toward yourself in relation to that. But at the same time, don't just say leave it there. Work with it because it needs to clear. We are not that baby anymore. We are not the child anymore as you felt. So you connect with that, and then you release the emotions, and you understand, because now you have the adult to understand everything that was going on.
Right.
And you can see the parents, the number one we have issues with
of course.
most of the time, or can be any member of the family who are very influential in our upbringing. So, and then you can understand what was going on. So in that way, you also change your perception of that person, of yourself. You can clear emotions that were, tight there. So also, it's very hard to be present in several parts of the body for particular reasons. And I would like to give a little bit of some examples that we work with realization process, because it's, of course, it's different from person to person, and each person has their own idea or own way how they constrict themselves. No one constricts in the same way, each person. So there is not like a formula, bam, bam, bam. So that's why the technique is with precision, and it's good to, you can work on yourself, but it's also good to work with a therapist or a teacher of realization process, because we can see, I can feel, I can see where in the body it's going, also to help and to guide for the clearing of that. So areas that we have as a human being, most of people have issues. One of them is the pelvis. So we also work with the pelvis, because sexuality, sensuality, all of that is like a taboo, you know, especially in the past. Our parents or the parents of our parents, if the parents, if your grandparents were not present in the pelvis, normally your parents are not present. So another part of this that I would like to mention is not only that something happened and you reacted. There is another aspect that I would like to share, which is we mimic our parents as well. Right. So if our parents are not in the pelvic area for any particular reason, we also learn, oh, we are not supposed to be here,
to sort of
so I'm not here.
Ourselves from that.
So that area becomes hollow. It's not empty, and I like to say that. And I will talk a little bit about Buddhism and this work also. But so it becomes hollow, the person is not present there. So you might even hurt parts of your body that you're not present, because you're more numb, there's less physical sensation, and also we limit the capacity for pleasure as well. So this is an area that a lot of people are not present, and nowadays, because we sit a lot in front of the computer, in the car, we also, it becomes more painful. We tend not to be present, especially in the back of ourselves. So that's one. Another one here is the center of our belly, but not just...
Yes, that's where I felt it.
That's where you felt, This whole area here, called the center of the torso, is connected with our power. So we also have a lot of emotions here, because as a child, it's very difficult to have parents that allow you to have your power. You know, they're going to limit your power, because it's the parents who have the power here, not the kid. So and many times they're going to tell us, don't do that, don't do this. Or you want to say, I hate you. But you can't. So then all that anger you limit. If you limit the anger, you limit your power. So then in order to not feel that, we constrict the tissues. And that's what we do. So that's here. Then another area that a lot of people have constrictions is the chest. And for the men,
I felt it
male,
too that day.
You felt too. The males. So men has a lot of difficulty also to access certain, I cannot say that, you know, in general. In general, I'm not saying people are not connected, but in general, when we go into the sternum, this bone that we have in the center, there is a lot of disconnection, because, you know, if a man has an emotion, and then someone wants to cry, and the mother say, no, you're not supposed to cry. Tough it up. Come on.
Men don't cry.
Men don't cry. And be strong. Since when to feel an emotion means weakness? In fact, you will realize that to be strong is to allow the emotions to pass through you. The emotions do not destroy you. And that's a new thing that we learn with this process. Very important also.
That's fantastic. We have so much more to talk about, so let's continue this on another episode, and we will, you know, talk about other things, because I want to get deeper into all this realization process. Okay? So for everybody watching, Roberta will be back next week on a new episode, so I hope to see you then. Thank you so much.